Someone who drums and gives prophecy. We should train all our drummers that way, Pete, I think. Just want to share very briefly. I didn't come with this this morning, but as we worship, I had the sense, maybe liken it just unto, I suppose, life. Yeah, Jesus showed me when he did his first miracle of changing water into wine, and there was a process of running out of wine. And if you feel responsible, you're aware that the wine is going down because you have a lot of responsibility. This is a word of encouragement about change, just on the back of Peter's word. But you know, if you're not married, please forgive me, but when you get married, life changes. Say yes. Your partner's next to you, definitely say yes, for the better. But suddenly life changes. You see, sometimes Christians will preach that you're in a new season or you need a new wineskin. And that is true. When the children of Israel had big times with God, they made places memorials and they remembered those big times. But straight after that big time, you're still in a season of change. You might be in a so you might not have been married, and then you're married. That doesn't mean that your life is suddenly all settled. It means that you have to adapt to each other as you begin your marriage journey. And just as you get settled, this little child comes along. And there's a whole new season and a whole new change that changes day by day by day by day, or in most cases night by night by night. And if you're really crazy, you have another kid and their life really changes. The seasons are important, but the change is permanent. Please follow me. Last time I preached, last week I preached at an African church. I just stood up and they said amen. So I'm still in that mood. Amen, thanks David. I even got I got one of those sweat cloths. I think it's because I was baldy, I think, but anyway. Elijah was in a difficult season because the Bible says when Elijah spoke, by his word, there will be neither rain nor dew for 3.5 years. 3.5 years. By the word of Elijah's mouth. So he'd had a difficult 3.5 years. Life was definitely changing for him. But in the midst of that, God decided to take him to a place where there was a brook, where there was water. And he also took him to a place where that water was, that the birds dropped off his food. Hello? You know, like birds bringing Greggs in the morning. Be great, wouldn't it? You didn't get out of bed, just Mark's going, yes, please. Just birds dropping food off. But even in that place, they got to a place where the brook dried up. Are you following me? Even in God's provision for that season, the season came to an end and the brook dried up. In that case, Elijah's challenge was that God sent him to a widow who had less than he had. But his provision was with the widow. There was a different season coming for him. So as Jesus turned water into wine, I just felt maybe there might be some people here today who are looking at the wine going down and going, we've got a problem. The wine's running out. But there comes, in that place of change, transition of your heart with God, there comes a place of provision from God. The problem is if you keep wanting to drink the first provision when it's empty, you're going to get thirsty. If Elijah had stayed at the brook when it dried up, he would have died Hello? Yeah? Oh, some of you are getting it. There is a place in the new season of the provision of God, but it's not a place where you settle totally. It's a place where you continue to change in that new season. There's an old saying, isn't there? Change is here to stay. And the challenge isn't what we look like corporately. The challenge is what we look like individually. Because what we look like individually changes what you are corporately. It doesn't come the other way around. I used to work with prisoners. Unless they change from the inside, it doesn't matter how many programs you put them through. They have to get it in here, don't they? So our change is not what we can change like corporately. Do you hear what I mean? Our change individually will affect how we are corporately and will change us corporately. But it starts with us. It starts with me being willing to change in whatever season you're at. I don't know about you, but I'm foolish enough to decorate occasionally. You ever done decoration where you decide just to do a room? We'll just do this room. Jackie hates it. She's really good. She's really good at tidying up and all that kind of stuff after I've made a mess. But when you're decorating, even if it's one room, the whole house is affected. Is it not? Because you have to move stuff out of that room. You have to put it everywhere. You can't go and sit in that room, whatever it might be. But it's not just the one room. It's the house that's affected because you're changing something in the one room. Oh, listen, I just want to encourage you today that whatever God is challenging you to change with, whether you're focusing on the fact that things are running out or running dry or have run dry, God has a new season for you that has provision in it for the next season. And I want to encourage you with that. I want to encourage you that change isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a really, really good thing. But I want to tell you, when Jesus made the next batch of wine, it was better than the last batch of wine. Because the bridegroom went, what went on there? They're all drunk now. What are you giving them good wine for? I paraphrase, but that's really what was happening. They're all drunk now. You should have kept that good wine and brought that first. But Jesus, in the new season, will only give you what was better than the last season. Peter's word, remember? Remember Peter's word? It's not the glory of the former. It's this. God will pour out his glory. He will pour it in ever-increasing measures. It's not the glory of yesterday. It's the glory of today. It's the glory of the next hour. It's the glory of the next minute. There is a continual pouring out of what God has for us. I've spoke too long. Bless you and be encouraged to change.